This podcast is part of the Robots Radio Rocket Club, a program designed to help all podcasts reach their full potential. For information about joining the Robots Radio Rocket Club, check out robotsradio.net.
Welcome to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon versus Legends, where we're going to take a deep dive into the lore of the Star Wars universe.
Welcome to the Holocron Histories podcast. For all of you here, we are here to talk about Star Wars. I'm Austin, also known as Teacup. I'm one of your hosts.
And I'm your other host, Ben of Temeria.
And so we're here to talk about various starships in Star Wars. For those of you who might be new, we talk about the canon versus legend material in regards to Star Wars lore. So what existed before the Disney buyout and what now exists under the Disney canon. And so today we're continuing our Starship series, and then it says our last ship for a little bit in the Star Wars series, but we will come back to more starships, but we are ending with one of my favorites. So why don't you tell us what it is, Ben?
We are going over the Y-Wing, or what you would normally use in any starship fight as a bomber. and it's a bomber. That's what it is.
Yes. It is a bomber.
Oh, puns. But yeah, we're going to go over the Y-Wing, and as normal, we start with the Legends history first. So the Y-Wing was made by Connoisseur Manufacturing, designed the Y-Wing for use in the Galactic Republic and the Clone Wars, and although the BTL-B model saw combat as flown by Anakin Skywalker and the group of clone troopers to disable the Malevolence, the more commonly known BTL-S3 came later. So, obviously, that very first thing that we see with Anakin flying the Y-Wing was literally in Clone Wars. And that's where they go through, I can't remember the smuggler route they went through.
Oh, it's like that nebula thing with the big, like, manatee-looking things or whatever.
Yeah. And all the
or
clones.
Not mantis things, maybe, yeah.
No, it wasn't clones. It was, was it the clones, or was it Ahsoka that freaked out? It's like, wait a minute, we're going through what?
It was Plo Koon.
Plo Koon, that's who it was.
Yeah.
He's like, wait a minute, we're not supposed to go through this. And then,
yes.
Further on, the Y-Wing also served during the Battle of Raloth and in the Battle of Camino to stop the Separatist frigates, and at the Battle of Malastare to help secure the electro-proton bomb by Vulture droids. So, the Y-Wing saw a lot of combat during the Galactic Republic era, canon and in Legends, because, Clone Wars is both. It's pre-canon, it's pre-Disney and after Disney. And then when the Galactic Empire declined to buy the design, Corsair began selling to various parties, and the Y-Wing found its way into pirate and mercenary forces. Thus, the fighter ended up with the rebel groups early in the Galactic Civil War. Which makes sense because, the rebels love to acquire ships when, they're not supposed to.
Well, why spend money on a ship when you can just acquire said ship?
Yeah, it's just, permanently borrowing.
Yeah, it's economical. It's economical.
It's very economical.
Yes.
At least for the rebels.
Yes.
Not much for the Empire when they keep losing ships.
Yeah. The Y-Wing is a bomber. Allow me to introduce you to the ion cannon turret.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. It's a bomber, but hey, here's a giant, like a pretty good heavy turret on its on the.
No, but yeah. I think that's one of the reasons the Rebels want it so badly is because of that ion cannon turret, because it's much more feasible for Rebels to disable ships rather than destroy them.
Yes. That's a lot easier. And that way they can, take control of said ships and then use them against the Empire. That's
Yeah.
what the Rebel Phoenix squad does in Rebels. Half the time they just disable everything and like just steal it from the Empire. Because why not? So the BTL-S3 Y-Wings were in service at least in the early as 18 BBY and was a critical vessel in the Rebellion's early days, bearing the brunt of all the early space battles with the Empire. The Rebels lost more Y-Wings in the Galactic Civil War than any other fighter due to the simple fact that they flew more Y-Wings than any other fighter. Which makes sense, they were more mass-produced than the X-Wings. And they hardly ever lost X-Wings.
No.
And then even after the introduction of the X-Wing, which was largely successed into the most roles, it continued to serve as the important part of the Alliance arsenal. The Y-Wing was best suited for heavy assault missions due to the larger warhead payload and the stronger hull and shields, while the X-Wing and A-Wing were more focused on dealing with enemy starfighters. Yes, and if you play Star Wars Squadrons, the Y-Wing has the most armor for a very good reason.
Yes.
Or other
I find... So, I've played a lot of Star Wars games, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them include the Y-Wing. You've got all the Battlefronts.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Squadrons. You've got Empire at War. All of these different games, including the Y-Wing. And in every iteration, I think Squadrons might be my favorite. Because, yes, it is tanky and it does have armor, but it can go toe-to-toe with starfighters if it needs to. Like, it's not defenseless. Whereas in Battlefront 2, I felt like you almost needed to, like, order another set of fighters to follow you while you bombed the enemy capital ship so that you didn't blow up.
That's true.
You just had that, like, slow, almost blaster pistol gun.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you remember?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah, because you had specific classes for when you're flying.
Yeah.
And then when you get out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you only had, that blaster pistol. Nope, I'm good. Give me an assault blaster. That's what I need.
Yeah.
So it was also invaluable for disabling craft since it was for a time to use only predominant Alliance starfighter with ion cannons. The more heavily armed and more advanced B-Wing was supposed to supplement the Y-Wing for such assault and capture missions. Which, if you go back and watch Rebels, where we see Hera flying the B-Wing, it literally takes down a freaking cruiser with its tri-beam laser that it has from its wings. It literally took down an entire cruiser by itself.
Yep.
It's insane. And then, however, the Y-Wing was still retained an edge over the B-Wing in armor, as the Y-Wing was a proven design and easier to pilot than the B-Wing, which was available in limited numbers. The Y-Wing continued to play a role as late as the Battle of Endor. Which makes sense because you're going up against Star Destroyers and the second Death Star.
Yep.
So, yeah. You're going to need something with heavy missiles.
But it's an A-Wing that takes down the Executor.
True. Only because it crashed into the bridge.
Yep.
That's the only reason that A-Wing took down that ship. And then by the time of Grand Admiral Thrawn's campaign against the New Republic, Y-Wings were regulated to planetary defense duties, leaving the attack missions to X-Wings, A-Wings, and B-Wings. Their age made it more difficult to repair, and many expected them to leave service or as newer fighters came into production. Which is weird that the Y-Wing would be considered out of their age more difficult to repair, because it's not like it's super old.
I mean, have you ever tried to find a part for a car that's 30 years old?
No. Fair enough.
Or even just you have a Nintendo 64 that breaks trying to find a part for that.
Okay, good point. Okay, that analogy I do understand.
Yes.
Just trying to find one power cord, just even a power cord for our N64. Yeah, good luck. One exception.
Just buy a new one.
Right. Good luck with that. One exception to this general demotion of the Y-Wings was the active duty of the BTL-A-4 Long Probe Scout, which filled a vital niche in the reconnaissance role, although partially replaced by the T-65BR X-Wing variant. These fighters are considered too valuable to withdraw. Instead, they were upgraded, extending their usefulness until the final years of the long conflict with the Empire, if not beyond. So, yeah.
Interesting.
X-Wings, they just keep using X-Wings. That's basically it at this point. Additionally, stubborn old Y-Wings in various states of repair were still found throughout the galaxy long after the Galactic Civil War. During the Yuzhong Van War, the Phila and the Galactos Guard employed Y-Wings in defense of their homeworld, though pilots of the Galactic Alliance referred to the starfighters as old and clumsy. I mean, if you're fighting the Yuzhong Van, every little bit helps, because they're devastating. If you don't know who the Yuzhong Van are, it's an Old Legends comic line they did, and it's with the death of Chewie, I know, is in that comic.
It's a novel. It's a novel line, too.
Oh, is it? Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't know it had a novel line. I knew the comics. And then...
So Chewie dies in a novel.
Oh, I thought he died.
Nope.
Didn't die in the comics?
Mm-mm.
Thought he did.
New Republic series. Or New Jedi Order series.
Okay. Well,
don't quote me on that, but I'm 90% sure.
Well, the Yuzhong Van were terrifying, nonetheless. And then other Y-Wings found their way into private ownership and continued to fly during the Second Galactic Civil War. In 44 ABY, an antique Y-Wing was docked at the Skyflyer space station orbiting Kuratween. Another Tatooine. That's 3.
Is it in the Tatooine system?
Let's see. It's a planet in wild space.
Oh, well, maybe no, because Tatooine is in the Outer Rim.
Correct, and Dantooine is in the Inner Rim, I believe.
Inner or mid?
Yeah, I think mid rim. And then famous Y-Wing pilots included John Vander, who led Gold Squadron during the Battle of Yavin, Kayan Farlander, the only surviving member of the Gold Squadron in the attack, Davish Crowell, who has flown for 5 years, and Horton Salam, one of the New Republic's foremost Y-Wing pilots. And then Salam also led the Alliance's Grey Squadron to the Battle of Endor, surviving the run through the second Death Star's superstructure after later leading an aggressor wing through the Battle of Brental IV, which saw him promoted to the rank of general. He continued to command the aggressors during the evacuation of Krylik?
Sure.
Something like that. So yeah, there's some famous Y-Wing pilots. Most of them we don't really know too much anymore because it's all legends.
Mm-hmm.
So, now we get to the models of the Y-Wing. So, as we said as we discussed earlier, the BTL-B Y-Wing was the first known model of the Y-Wing, which served the Grand Army of the Republic during the Clone Wars. Unlike its successor, the BTL-B model had a full hull covering both the primary fuselage and engines, a bubble turret which was swiveled to 360 degrees, providing a clear view of the gunner and of the surrounding space. And the ship was designed to operate mainly as a bomber, and the Republic used them as well in this capacity On later models, the bubble feature was placed with the turret operated from within the main cockpit. That would be hard to, be able to fly and use the turret at the same time at a 360-degree angle by yourself.
I guess. Sounds like some Han Solo shit. I shouldn't really... forgot we don't really cuss on the podcast.
But, yeah, it sounds like some Han Solo crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Then we have the BTL-S3, which was a 2-man strike fighter and was most common Y-wing configuration. The weapon systems officer typically operated the ion cannon turret when needed. Luke Skywalker used this variant on his mission to Panna and Zero ABY, as did Leia Organa and C-3PO on their journey to the Scorpius system. Many Y-wings of this variant were modified to become the S3B variant, with defensive rapid-fire blasters replacing the ion cannon turret and particle cannons replacing the dual laser cannons on the nose. These Y-wings were used as heavy capital ship destroyers and were eventually phased out by the new B-wing starfighter. Because starfighters. The B-wing's awesome, honestly. That's pretty much it. And then we can move to the BTL-A4 Y-wing, which was a one-man version of the S3. Removed the gunner position and locked the overhead ion cannon in a forward-facing position. Show strength was also reduced to boost engine speed. It was commonly used by the pirate, mercenary, and private defense forces, and therefore was also used by the early Rebel Alliance as the primary starfighter for bombing and disabling roles. However, the lack of the gunner and reduced shields typically proved a liability and made the A4 unpopular among pilots. Notably, only one A4 fighter from the Alliance Gold Squadron survived the attack of the Death Star at the Battle of Yavin. Yeah, I would say that would make it unpopular.
Yes.
Here's a whole squadron. Only one lives. Sorry. And then, as the BTL-S3 became the primary Y-wing variant of the Rebel Force, the A4 was still kept in many units as a supplementary craft. However, Red and Gold Squadrons favored the A4 variant of the Y-wing and used it with distinction in several climactic battles, such as the Battle of Yavin, the capture of the Death Star 2 plans from the Imperial fighter Supersa, and the subsequent Battle of Endor. And, you heard that right, in Legends, Scarif did not exist.
Yes. So, can we just talk about how Red and Gold Squadron are basically just like, we fought the Death Star, don't tell us what type of fighter to use.
Right? It's like, yeah, we like this one better, but you're gonna die in that one. We don't care. We like this one better. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's what Red and Gold Squadron, though. Like, next to, those are the two main squadrons we see. Next to Blue, but then Blue's also, then doesn't exist.
No, it does exist. In canon.
Oh, that's right. In canon, they do.
They just don't survive.
Yeah.
The Battle of Scarif.
Yeah. They existed. And become non-existent.
Very quickly.
Very quick. And then we have the BTL-A4 Y-wing, the Long Probe. So an additional, though less common BTL-A4 variant known as the Long Probe, designated the BTL-A4 LP, was equipped with a nav computer, backup hyperdrive, advanced scanners, and an extended fuel supply in place of weapons system officer. While this was not enough to make it a true scout craft, its heavy armament gave it a better chance of survival and allowed it to occasionally cause damage to the targets it was scouting. And then the Long Probe was used primarily for long-range scouting missions, hence Long Probe. On such missions, Long Probes operated in recon teams known as the Long Probe Y-Wing Recon Teams. One such team was sent to Ash Alasan to check the rebel archaeological dig that failed to report back. In contrast with other Y-Wings, this variant was considered too valuable to remove from active duty by the New Republic. Full-on scout version. It's basically what it is.
Yep. Interesting.
And then
I didn't know there were this many versions of
I didn't
Y-Wing.
either. I really didn't either. I thought it was just, oh, hey, here's the Y-Wing, here's the one from Clone Wars, here's from the Galactic Civil War, and then going into the research of this, it's like, oh, there's multiple versions. This is new.
Right.
And then we
Hold
have...
on,
oh, yeah.
I have a dog that is being bad.
A dog? No. Give it a sec. So, just give it a minute or so. Teacup will be back.
Okay, sorry. She was just chewing on clothing and shouldn't be.
That's fair.
But
yeah, it's dog.
technical gifties, back to Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. So now we have the BTL-S3 Courier variant. So the Alliance Intelligence utilized specially modified Y-Wings for long-range courier duty. This variant of the BTL-S3 had no ion cannons, which were removed for baggage space, a larger main cockpit area to be able to carry up to 5 people, and a special canopy split down in the middle for rapid embarking or disembarking of a passenger during brief landings. This canopy also allowed the passenger to bail out at a high altitude and paraglide to their destination. That's kind of cool.
That's cool.
The customization was rare enough that no special designation was created for these modified Y-Wings. Some of the last Rebel soldiers to evacuate Hoth used Y-Wings in this type. The variant was used by Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker on a mission to Valamor and Ventuine. A Y-Wing modified similar to the Rendili Star Drive was used by Skywalker while he was working for the Senate Planetary Intelligence Network and helping the Jedi Prince Ken. Okay, Ventuine? How many Tuines do we have?
It's like,
And this one's Outer Rim.
It just must be some kind of thing. I guess, we don't really have any reference because we only know of 9 planets that we've named, I guess.
Good point.
Well, 8.
Fair. That's fair.
Pluto's still a planet for me.
Oh, true. So we have the Light Y-Wing. The Light Y-Wing was a light bomber which lacked the support of pylons on the engine. That's it. Then we have the Heavy Y-Wing. A Heavy Y-Wing was a bomber with heavy ordnance and 4 engine pods. And then the Y-Wing Scout Bomber. The Scout Bomber was a variant developed and deployed during the Clone Wars. And that is all we got for the Legends. And yeah, the Y-Wings was used a lot. They were used heavily. Fun. They're more fun to play with, though. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I love bombing everything.
There's just something beneficial, especially like if you're like me and sometimes just want to cheat and you go into the old Battlefront 2 game and turn on invincibility and you just go in and with a Y-Wing and just decimate. You don't even have to land in their ship. You can just...
Nope. You can literally just destroy on the outside.
Yeah.
It's great. God, I miss Conquest and the space battles. Yeah. Like, come on. Yeah. EA, Lucasfilm, LucasArts. We have LucasArts now again. Bring it back.
This is something that I enjoy about Squadrons, at least, is that you really feel like you can do damage to everything that's in the space battle. Whereas
True.
With Battlefront 2, you destroyed things, but the capital ship's still there.
Yeah.
And I won, but the capital ship's there.
Yep. And
And
you'll see explosions once you end the match. That's the only time you
yes.
see it go down.
And I just appreciate that about Squadrons, that it's really like they took the model of like the old like military like playing games.
Simulators.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and embrace that. I think that had Squadrons been just kind of like an expansion for Battlefront 2, it would have been. And had it not been so buggy on launch.
True. But who knows? We might get something else in the future. I know LucasArts / Lucasfilms announced they're starting next year. Their plan is to have 2 Star Wars games every year going forward.
I mean, so I know that Battlefront 3 is reportedly in development.
Is it? I thought that was canceled.
I can't remember. It's hard to keep track.
Pretty sure that one was canceled. I think Battlefront 3 was originally canceled. Though they might have brought it back. Who knows at this point?
Like the Battlefront in the DICE game series.
Yeah.
Which if they do make that, I hope that they kind of learn from Squadrons and bring space battles in that game can feel like they do in Squadrons, because it's not a bad game. It's just
bring, as long as if they make Battlefront 3, I just want to see Conquest. That's my only requirement for that game is Conquest.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good time to take our mid break.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome to the middle of the show where we thank our patrons, and thank you so much to all of you who support us on Patreon. We greatly appreciate that. If you would like to support us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/holocronhistories and sign up for one of our tiers. There's all kinds of things from ad-free episodes to coming on the show with us once a month, which we had our patron chat about 2 weeks ago, and it was a lot of fun. And you can join us there too, and we would greatly appreciate that. Another great way to support us is to leave us ratings and reviews on Spotify or Apple. If you leave one with some kind words and 5 stars, we will read it out on a future episode of the show. And Ben, I do not think we have a review to read today.
Not today. Not that I saw.
No. All right. And the other thing is, if you want to find us and hear more of our stuff, you can listen to our other podcasts. I do the Dragon Age Lorecast, the Assassin's Creed Lorecast, and the Inheritance Cycle Page by Page podcast. And Ben does another podcast.
Yes, I do the Wizarding World Lorecast, where we take a deep dive in the universe of Harry Potter. If you like Harry Potter at all, go check that out. We have a grand old time with my co-host Captain Shenko from the MCU Lorecast. And yeah, everything is so magical in that one.
And if you want to hang out with us outside of the podcast that we do, you can join us on the various Discord servers that we are on. The 2 main ones are the Cups Podcasting and More, and that's the area for all of our podcasting information. You can find that Discord server, or you can join us on the Robots Radio Discord server, where we hang out there at the Robots Radio, which is just a hub for all kinds of podcasts, specifically video game podcasts. And you can hang out, check out the Mass Effect Lorecast, the Witcher Lorecast, all kinds of great things. And if you join the Witcher Lorecast, you might have an occasional episode with Ben.
Yes. Or Elder Scrolls. I'm on that one too.
Yes, I forgot about Elder Scrolls.
I'm on 2 of those shows once a month.
All right.
But cool. If that's it, let's get back into it. All right. Now that we're back, we are now going to the canon history of the Y-Wing. So, to kick everything off is obviously going to be the Clone Wars, because the Clone Wars is awesome. And, yeah. In the Clone Wars, the Y-Wing proved their worth to the Republic, taking part in several key battles against the Separatists. Despite the size, the two-seat starfighters were quite maneuverable, with clone troopers piloting routinely performing quick rolls while staying in formation. Their turrets and fixed guns allow them to engage and destroy multiple targets simultaneously, making them effective in combat missions against enemy starfighters. This versatility made them suitable for the number of mission profiles, whether it involved attacking enemy capital ships or bombing ground targets. They were, however, considered buggy in atmospheric operations. So, basically, that means the Y-Wing is better in space. Pretty much. Like, they don't really do very well in being in the atmosphere.
Interesting. I think that's the first starfighter we've seen that's like, hey, don't take this one in the atmosphere.
Yeah. Now that you say that, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is the first one that we've gone over. Which is weird.
Right. Well, because if we think about other bombers, the Hyena bomber can go in the atmosphere because we see several episodes where they're like bombing cities.
Right.
Are making runs over that. We know that the TIE bomber can do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And at least they bomb that asteroid that has to have at least a minimal atmosphere to make sense. Otherwise, I guess the Force is how Han and Leia walk out that with only a breath mask.
Yeah, the Force. Let's go with that. We are not at all astronomers, so we have no idea how that works.
So I just think that's interesting that it's not a bomber thing, it's just a Y-Wing thing.
Mm-hmm. And then we have some specific instances where the Y-Wing is involved. So we have the Cardilla Nebula. Shadow Squadron, a unit of clone trooper pilots, flew Y-Wing bombers in the Battle of Cardilla Nebula under the command of Jedi General Anakin Skywalker and Jedi Commander Ahsoka Tano. Flew as the gunner in Skywalker's Y-Wing, and General Plo Koon served as the fighter escort. The Y-Wing successfully destroyed the Malevolence ion cannon in the engagement. Out of the initial force of 12 Y-Wings, 6 were lost in the assault. And let's be honest, almost half of those were lost in the Cardilla Nebula.
Yep.
Because it was a smuggler route with giant space manatees, and that did not go well with starfighters. Because Anakin's a daredevil.
No, Anakin didn't do his research.
Well, that too. Oh, I heard this from a pirate, from a smuggler I know. You heard this from what? Anakin, how could you do this?
Yep.
Then we have the Battle of Ryloth, in which broke out the planetary blockade imposed by the Confederacy of Independent Systems. They also participated in the atmospheric operations, and at least one crashed outside the Syndulla residence. Hera Syndulla rescued Chopper from the wrecked Y-Wing of Cham Syndulla, decided to preserve the crash site as a memorial. Several of Skywalker's Y-Wings destroyed Separatist Hyena-class droid bombers that were tasked with destroying Lesu after the Separatists withdrew from the capital. So, yeah, this is where Hera gets Chopper from one of the Y-Wings that crashed next to her house, which we do see that Y-Wing in a episode of Rebels.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah, because it's when they go back to the residence, right?
Yeah, we either see it there or we see it in the Bad Batch episode.
Yeah. I don't recall the Bad Batch one. I'm pretty sure it was Rebels is what I saw it at. Because it's Hera and Ezra that are infiltrating her own house because it was taken over. And she told Ezra, this is where I found Chopper. Kind of a thing. And then we have Malastare. In 21 BBY, Y-Wings participated in the Battle of Malastare, notably dropping an electro-proton bomb on the Separatist droid army. inadvertently awakening the last surviving Zillo beast. The battle ended in the joint Republic/Doug victory, with the Separatists being driven off planet and the Dougs signing a treaty granting the Republic access to the considerable field reserves. Yeah. Zillo beasts are not fun. They're terrifying. Then we have Solace. Republic Y-Wing saw the battle at the Battle of Solace, engaging Separatist starfighters and conducting bombing runs on the capital starships. Darth Sidious ordered Count Dooku to kill Asajj Ventress in the battle, leading to a Separatist withdrawal and a Republic victory. Yeah, I remember that episode.
I do too.
Then we have Platiti Patuna. In 20 BBY, Republic Y-Wings mounted a failed defense of Jedi General Adi Gully's flagship at the Battle of Patila Patuna. Astromech droid R2-D2 and Protocol droid C-3PO escaped the doomed Star Destroyer aboard a Y-Wing and crashed on Palatina Patula's surface. After repairing the ship, the duo made a quick side trip to Banab in search of power, but they were forced to abandon ship. Not long after the Battle of Patula, the Republic mounted a rescue of Adila Galula and recovered the droids who had been picked up by Weekree pirates and taken prisoner by the Separatists. That one I don't remember.
I don't remember that either.
Then we have Umbara, which is probably one of the most well-known battles in the Clone Wars, more for the fact of the Umbara troopers, because their armor is awesome. The Y-Wings participated in the Battle of Umbara, destroying Separatist frigates, guarding the planet, and dropping ordnance on the Umbara militia personnel who have ambushed the 501st Legion. They also took part in the atmospheric combat operations and gaining Vulture-class starfighters and droid tri-fighters in air-to-air combat. The Battle of Umbara ended with a Republic victory and the execution of the traitorous Jedi General Prong Krell. And if you don't know who that is, Prong Krell
Count yourself lucky.
He is the most despised character in all of Star Wars. Which is, it's tough to say, but yes, he's the most hated character. At least for Clone Wars. I don't know about the entire universe, but he's probably the most hated character. Yeah. Good riddance. Good that he was executed. Now we have the Negotiator. Republic Y-Wings mounted a failed defense of the Kenobi's flagship, the Negotiator, after it fell under attack by Separatist warships. The Separatist victory prevented the Republic's involvement in the rescue of Okatano and had been abducted by the Weekree pirates in the Florum system. Her rescue fell to a group of 6 younglings instead. And then we have Anaxis. A 19 BBY Gold Squadron used Y-Wing bombers to attack Separatist anti-aircraft cannons stationed at the Anaxis Assembly Complex during the Battle of Anaxis. The campaign ended with a Republic victory, the death of Admiral Trench, and the defeat of all Separate forces that were deployed on Anaxis. And Trench was the spider-looking alien that Anakin killed.
Yep.
He straight up stabbed him. Kind of like was starting, you can see the dark side kind of forming up in that episode. Big time. And then we have the Age of the Empire. So, soon after the formation of the Galactic Empire in 19 BBY, an early rebellion against the Imperial rule began to take shape, secretly supported by influential senators like Bail Organa and Mon Mothma. The various rebel cells operated whatever kinds of vehicles they could acquire. Y-Wings have been re-regulated to planetary defense duties, were popular craft for the rebels because of its built-in hyperdrive and durability. Sold to military surplus sellers or scrap yards, the rebels sought to buy or steal as many of the many as they could, with the Y-Wing being the most common Rebel starfighter during the Galactic Civil War. Which, again, just like in Legends, makes perfect sense for them stealing. And then they prove themselves to be the superior firepower and durability compared to the Empire's TIE fighters that were used in a variety of missions, including escort, courier service, reconnaissance, and surgical strikes. The BTL-A4 was the most common model, with the most BTL-Bs having the bubble turrets removed in place of a remotely controlled turret found on other variants.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, let's be honest. Everything's better than a TIE.
That's true. Except the A-Wing.
Except the A-Wing. Oh, God. And if you haven't heard our A-Wing episode, go back and watch that, or listen to that.
But,
because...
you know what? No, I take it back. The A-Wing is also better than the TIE, because the A-Wing has shields.
Yeah. It still sucks to fly, but it's still better than the TIE.
But it has shields.
It has shields. Yeah, the TIEs are the worst starship ever. Yeah. So now we have Skull. In 4 BBY, at least 5 Y-Wings engaged Imperial's TIE fighters, while Jyn Erso mounted an escaped attempt from the Imperial military forces on Skull. Crossfire from the dogfight destroyed the SC-3000 freighter Ponta 1, killing both civilians on board. Which, I imagine that was Rogue One when that happened.
I think so, maybe. I don't remember that.
They've done more stuff with Jyn Erso in the last few years with comics, and they did the Forces. Was she in Force of Destiny?
Probably.
I'd imagine she was. I think she was. So, and they've done more with the female protagonist, which is awesome. But I can't keep track of everything. Now we have Yarma. In 2 BBY, Phoenix Cell launched a mission to recover discommissioned Republic Y-Wings from the Reclam Station, an aerial scrapyard floating in the atmosphere of the planet of Yarma. The mission ended in Rebel victory, with 5 Y-Wings successfully stolen and the Reclam Station destroyed. 2 of the initial force of 7 were lost to Imperial fire, both piloted by Chopper under the remote control, although Commander Jun Sato originally intended the Y-Wings to enter service with Phoenix Squadron. The ships were instead to transfer to Jan Dordana's unit on Yavin 4. And I do remember this episode, because I'm pretty sure Chopper detonated something on the station to blow it up. Because it's Chopper.
He's a war criminal.
Oh no, he's for sure the Star Wars war criminal. His death toll is close to 500,000. It's stupid.
Following next to him is actually General Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Are you dead serious? What?
Yeah, he does a war crime almost every episode. It's a war crime. One of his biggest one is to fake surrender is a war crime.
Huh. Never really thought about that. Yeah. Interesting. That's interesting that Obi-Wan has the next most death toll.
Him and Anakin are war crime central.
Oh my god. Well, it's war, I guess. I mean, it's... Yeah.
Well, actually, when we're talking about actual war crimes, most of D&D's spells are war crimes.
I believe that. Yeah. Yeah. And getting back on track here, so now we have the backbone of the rebellion. Imperial cadets were trained to destroy Y-Wing starfighters at the Skystrike Academy on Montross. Sabine Wren and Wedge Antilles participated in one such training prior to their first attempt to escape the Skystrike Academy alongside Derek Cliven and Rock Gowrie. I think that's how you say it. So yeah, this was canonically and chronologically, this is Wedge's first appearance. timeline-wise.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Toulon. At the Battle of Toulon, the Y-Wings of Green Squadron attacked the Imperial-class Star Destroyer, while Phoenix Squadron's RZ-1A Wing interceptors engaged Imperial ties. Despite the fierce Alliance resistance, the rebels were forced to return to Chopper Base on the surface, and it only had intervention of Clan Ren and Bendu that allowed the Alliance forces to escape from Ultan to Yavin, but 2 Y-Wings were destroyed in the assault. Yeah, this was this is where like Thrawn comes in, finds Chopper Base, and then Bendu gets PO'd. Right?
Yeah, so yeah, it's the end of season 3 of Rebels.
Okay. And now we have Adu and 0 BBY during the Operation Fracture. Y-Wings of the Masasi group took part in the mission of Adu, killing Galene, Walton, Urso, and destroying the Imperial Kyber Crystal Research Facility. So this is like the prologue of... Well, it's in Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
It's like at the get-go of Rogue One. And now we have mission to recover Imperial communication logs. Shortly after the Battle of Yavin, Luke Skywalker would fly a BTL-S3 Y-Wing starfighter. Y4. During his mission to recover Imperial communication logs during the mission, the rebel pilot used the starfighter against the Razor-class frigate known as Krug's Revenge and the Tulinary Ustar system. That's comics for you.
Yeah.
And then we have Anthem 1 and 0 ABY, Darth Vader and the Inspector Tanith embarked on a mission on the Anthon system to identify the perpetrators of the Sun Toll Pride robbery and recover cargo credits. As part of an attempt to bargain with the Imperials, the information broker known as the Ante disclosed the location of the Plasma Devils based on the operations of Anthem 1. With the knowledge of the death of the Ante, Vader and Tanith abandoned the chase and struck the Plasma Devils base. During the Plasma Devils' attempts to evacuate, Vader single-handedly brought down one of the Y-Wings by throwing his lightsaber at the portside engine. Which, if you haven't watched Obi-Wan, Vader can easily take down an entire cruiser with his bare hands.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just remembered Force Unleashed.
Yes.
Bringing down the Star Destroyer.
Yes, Star Killer bringing down a full-on Star Destroyer. Yeah. That's the best moment from that game. Mm-hmm. Then we have Vorgas Voss. Grey Squadron's Y-Wing saw action in the Battle of Vorgas Voss, attempting to kill Darth Vader. Using the Force to hurl debris from his crashed TIE at the bombers, the Sith Lord destroyed several and proved that he was more of a match for the squadron. Later in the battle, Leia Organa ordered the Y-Wings of Amber Wing to bomb her position with the aim of killing Vader, but the wing was decimated by Commander Carbon's forces. Oh well. Though, I mean, it's Vader. Good luck trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Good luck. Nothing was going to stop him, and the only thing that stopped him was his own son. And that's after many interactions with him. Now we have Mon Cala. Y-Wing starfighters took on the mutiny of Mon Cala, an important strategic victory for the Alliance. The successful mutiny led to the Mon Cala mercantile fleet joining the Alliance fleet. And then Makato Space Docks. Y-Wing saw action defending against an Imperial assault on the rebellion's base known as the Makato Space Docks. Now we have Tatooine. At some point between 0 ABY and 3 ABY, a squadron of X-Wings and Y-Wings on patrol the Arcana sector located an Imperial listening station and requested the Saposa gang to give them targets. The raid completely destroyed the base. And then we have Cedric 4. 17 standard days after the Battle of Endor, the Y-Wings of the Feral Group participated in the Battle of Krawa City and the planet of Cedric IV, dropping bombs on Imperial all-terrain armored transport walkers, and the battle ended with a decisive victory for the Alliance. And those are AT-ATs. For, hyphenation.
Yes, all-terrain armored transport walkers.
And then Naboo. At least 3 Y-Wings participated in the Battle of Theed at Naboo during the Operation Cinder. Under the command of General Lando Calrissian, the fighters engaged Imperial ties at the swarm of Leia Organa, Shara Bey, and Queen Sasha Sorana, who had made attempts to knock out the Imperial weather control satellites. And then with the help of Shrigrov's Danger Squadron, now joined by former Imperial Special Forces Commandos Iden Versio and Del Meeko, the Y-Wings successfully bonded the Star Destroyer Torment's shield array. The battle concluded with the Rebel victory and the failure of Operation Cinder in the area. Which is the events of Star Wars Battlefront 2 2019. The new one.
Yes.
That is the story mode.
Game.
Dice's game. Yeah, that is the new Battlefront 2, and that's what happens in that story. The story, game's great to play now. Campaign's so much fun to play. Because you start as a bad guy and then go to become a rebel.
Yep.
And it has a good actor in it. She is awesome. She if you ever watch the CW show Arrow, she's in the first season of Arrow.
She is?
Mm-hmm. She becomes Oliver's girlfriend for a time. She was a cop. Season 1 or season 2. One of the two. It's really early season Arrow.
Now I'm about to look it up.
And now we have...
so long.
Right. Arrow's such a good show, though. And then for the New Republic era, Y-Wings were largely fallen out of the military service by 28 ABY due to the age of their design. Despite this, the Annex warriors operated at least one Y-Wing around the time, which attempted to thwart Organa's mission to Syabinsko. The Resistance also operated at least a single 2-seat BTL -S3 in 34 ABY and deployed it on the mission of Spelek, but it was noted that the fighter was very old and was dangerous because of this. Yeah. I mean, after almost 40 years after Battle of Yavin, yeah, that design's kind of old. So now we have behind the scenes. Woo!
Woohoo!
So the Y-Wing Starfighter first appeared from in Now Legends promotion novel Star Wars From Adventures of Luke Skywalker, and the very first Star Wars product ever released. It was a novelization of the later canon film at the time of release as Star Wars. So, A New Hope.
Yep.
In the novelization, the Y-Wings flew in the Battle of Yavin, operated as part of Red Squadron, and the X-Wings part of Blue Squadron. Because of the limits of the blue screen technology at the time, the Y-Wing Squadron was changed to Gold Squadron and X-Wings to Red. Which made sense technology-wise, obviously. And then we later, get Blue Squadron from the X-Wings in Rogue One. Because technology highly advanced to where you can have blue on screen. Y-Wings appeared in numerous other narrative media released between 1977 and 2014, most notably the Star Wars Holiday Special, the other two films of the original trilogy, and the Clone Wars. I'm going to be honest, I never really watched the Holiday Special.
Did you watch the Lego one?
No.
The Lego one's good.
I imagine the Lego ones are good. And imagine the original ones. I keep hearing terrible things about it. And good luck.
Right.
Good luck trying to find it too. They kind of buried that.
Yeah, but
was the original first footage of Boba Fett, wasn't it?
It was, and but it definitely in the holiday special. The Lego holiday special is great.
I have to watch that. In the original release of Star Wars, the Y-Wing Starfighters were plastic models shot against blue screens with computer-controlled cameras, and the later versions of the film released to theaters and home media, some shots have been removed and replaced with computer-animated ones.
special editions.
Yep. I mean, they added Anakin Skywalker Return after the special edition came out after Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
A transparent turret was originally included in the design, but was removed when it was realized that the blue screen technology was not yet advanced enough to composite correctly with the turret, and the turrets, along with a lot of the body paneling and the gunner's position, were added back into the Y-Wing's design in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Oh, so that's interesting. They originally had a turret on it, but like I'm assuming a bubble turret, in the original design, but they couldn't because, blue screen technology. And the look of the Clone Wars era Y-Wing bombers stemmed directly from the design of the original Y-Wing and speculation from A New Hope visual effects art director Joe Johnston that the Y-Wing used by the Rebel Alliance was a chopped version of an older craft. The appearance of the Y-Wing seen in the episode Shadow of the Malevolence is intended to bridge the design aesthetics of the prequel and original trilogies. Yeah, which we perfectly
makes sense.
It looks like it too. So.
Mm-hmm.
And then on April 25th, 2014, Lucasfilm announced that the former expanded universe would discontinue and be rebranded as Legends, and that would be replaced with a new single-level canonically system, which was new releases were declared either canon or non-canon from the onset. Since the rebranding, Y-Wings have appeared in numerous narrative, promotional, and reference Star Wars products. Which, yeah, the Y-Wing is literally everywhere that we see since Disney took over.
Yep.
And then the Twins, an episode of Star Wars Visions, Y-Wings were used by AM's Galactic Empire.
Yeah. Which I'm just going to plug now. If you have not watched Visions, it's not canon, and it doesn't make a lot of sense with the things that are going on. But it's very enjoyable.
Yes, it's very enjoyable. It's really fun to watch. If you like anime, watch Star Wars Visions, because it's literally developed by every episode is a completely different animation studio. And Lucasfilm gave them full reins of story and everything. They told them, like, make an anime, make a Star Wars anime episode, do whatever you want. And, like, there's some really good stuff.
Yeah, and they draw a lot on some original concepts from early Star Wars days, which I just really enjoy. But this episode, The Twins, is actually one of my favorites.
Yeah. That's right. Mine was probably the Ronin Jedi stuff they had.
The Ronin Jedi stuff. Was that the first one?
Was that the first episode?
The one that's in black and white?
Yes.
And
the one that's in black and white, yes. It's like an old school, like, Ronin samurai style movie. But with lightsabers, and they had a freaking umbrella, like, lightsaber detachment.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It's epic.
I like the Twins, and I like there's one about, like, a lightsaber smith.
Ooh, I don't know if...
That's towards the end.
Okay.
And then I'm always a sucker. The one about the Hut band gets me every time. I think it's hilarious.
Yes. It's great stuff. But that is all we got on the Y-Wing for this week.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
All right. Well, thanks. We will see you all next time on the Holocron Histories podcast.
And may the Force be with you. Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon versus Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net. You can also follow us on Twitter at SWHoloHistories and contact us at holocronhistories@gmail.com.